Hey friends, welcome back to Dosadi-duck, the podcast where we dive headfirst into big questions about humanity's flourishing through the lens of Christ, with a dash of curiosity and a whole lot of quacking. I'm your host, and today we are going to go into something deep that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi thriller, but it's grounded in some real-world questions. Are we being subtly poisoned, not to kill us, but just to keep us sick enough to stay dependent? And could the way chemicals in our everyday lives interact be part of a bigger, maybe even cosmic puzzle? Buckle up, grab your bottle of water, filtered of course, and let's quack about catalyzed poisoning. All right, let's set the stage. Imagine a world where things we eat, breathe, and use every day, food, toothpaste, even the air above us, carry tiny amounts of chemicals. On their own, they're no big deal, deemed safe by regulators. But what if they're designed to work together, like pieces of a puzzle, to create a slow, subtle effect on your health? Not to wipe us out, but to keep us tired, foggy, or just enough to need a pill or two. Sounds like something out of a Frank Herbert Dosadi experiment, right? A hidden system testing how we react under pressure. That's the hypothesis we are exploring today, and it's called a multivalent poisoning. The idea comes from a speculative white paper I've got in front of me, put together by Grok 3 AI, and it suggests the compounds in everyday products. These pesticides in your foods, metals in your vape, even fluoride in your toothpaste might be harmless alone, but turn toxic when they mix in your body. And the kicker, they could align with a bigger agenda, even tied to some off-world framework that is about life and sovereignty, or undermining it. Let's break it down with some key points and see if we're all just ducks in a chemical pond. Food production. What's on your plate? Let's start with food. Because we all eat right, modern agriculture uses stuff like glyphosate. Yep, the stuff in Roundup. The World Health Organization, AIRC, calls it probably carcinogenic. Probably. Huh? But it's still everywhere. Then you've got heavy metals like cadmium in fertilizers and additives in MSG in your chips. Alone, they're all under the safe limit. But what if they team up? In 2023, a study from MDPI suggests glyphosate messes with your gut bacteria that could make cadmium's effects like inflammation or oxidative stress way worse. The result, chronic fatigue, obesity, maybe even a diabetes, conditions that conveniently keep big pharma in business. Are we eating our way into a Dosadi-like experiment? Point 2, cigarettes, vaping, inhaling trouble. Next up is smoking and vaping. Cigarettes pack over 7,000 chemicals, including 70 known carcinogens, like tobacco-specific nitrosamines, or TSNAs. Vaping's not much better. These coils release metals like nickel and the juice that propylene glycol and flavorings. In 2024, an American Cancer Society report lays it out. These are bad enough solo, but what if they interact? Nickel in your lungs might crank up the DNA damage power of the TSNA, leading to issues like COPD or asthma. You're not dead, but you're reaching for that inhaler. It's like the chemicals are tag teaming to keep you just sick enough. And then we've got vaccines. Prickly topic. Vaccines are a hot button, but let's tread carefully. They use adjuvants like aluminium salts to boost your immune response. Safe in small doses, but what if aluminium mixes with fluoride from your toothpaste or your water? Some animal studies, like the one cited in ACOG in 2021, hint that aminofluoride complexes could mess with your brain's signaling. We're talking about cognitive decline or autoimmune issues, stuff you might stuff you might need meds for long term. Human data's fuzzy, but the possibility of synergy here is there. Makes you wonder if every shot is part of a bigger chemical equation. Then you've got commercial fragrances, like it smells like trouble. Every spritz on of some perfume is used as scent or use a scented lotion. Those fragrances labels hide things like phthalates, endocrine disruptors that mess with your hormones. In 2024, a Ballard Brief report notes that there are tons of cosmetics. Now mix those with polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAH, from the air pollution or cigarette smoke. The white paper suggests that they could turn phthalates into something nastier by tweaking your body's enzymes. End result, infertility or metabolic issues, treated with, you guessed it, hormone therapies. Smells something fishy to me. Then you've got toothpaste. Your morning routine isn't safe either. Toothpaste has fluoride, sometimes triclosan, and even microplastics as abrasives. Fluoride's great for teeth, but it could team up with aluminium from vaccines or cookware to form neurotoxic complexes. In 2023, PMC studies suggest it's possible, and triclosans might mess with your gut when it meets food additives like emulsifiers, leading to inflammation. Suddenly you're popping probiotics with antidepressants. It's like your toothbrush is on the experiment. Then we've got chemtrails. Okay, this one's speculative, so bear with me. The chemtrail theory, well, maybe not so speculative, since legislation is now being passed in the States and the US that is banning chemtrails. So, yeah, let's carry on. Where planes supposedly spray stuff like aluminium or barium gets dismissed as conspiracies. Science says chemtrails are just water vapor and jet exhaust. But if aluminium particulates were in the air, they could mix with fluoride or vaccine adjuvants or boost in neurotoxicity. In 2011 PMC study on environmental toxins hints at these kinds of synergies, though there's no hard proof of aerial spraying. Still, the idea of the sky as a delivery system is very Dosadi. An entire planet is now being sprayed and the environment changed at a mass level. Water systems. Water's supposed to be life, right? But PFAS, those forever chemicals, lead and chlorine byproducts like trihalomethanes, are in many supplies. In 2023, Guardian reported in a crisis, PFAS might make lead's neurotoxicity worse by clogging your body's detox pathways. Trihalomethanes could amplify PFAS hormone disrupting effects. The result, developmental delays or thyroid issues, keeping you on meds for life. It's like the water is working against us. Item number 8, genetically engineered food. Finally, GMOs, crops like BT corn, make their own pesticides like cryotoxins, and others are soaked in glyphosates. Safe alone, maybe, but in 2006 Wikipedia entry on GMO controversies cited an animal studies where these combos disrupt gut health, potentially causing allergies and autoimmune issues. You're not keeling over, but you're reaching for immune suppressants. Are GMOs also a part of this chemical chess game that we are subjected to? So, that's quite a bit to take in. The big idea here is synergy. These compounds, glyphosates, aluminium, PFAS, might be safe in isolation, but together they could be slow motion health crisis. The white paper points out the regulators like EPA or WHO test chemicals one by one, not in combination. That's a blind spot. In 2023, PMC studies on environmental toxins says we are barely scratching the surface of how these things interact and the health impacts. Diabetes, brain fog, asthma line up with the big pharma things that big pharma loves to treat. Coincidence, or is it something more?